Folks, it is week 8 of the PPL, meaning that the end of the season is here. Playoffs are just around the corner, and with some coaches out of the running, most have a seed to fight for, so let's dive in and see where everybody ended up this week. We have Joey and Uzi first in a must-win for Uzi. Uzi was off to a quick lead, putting immediate pressure on with Sneasler, but Uzi might have revealed his plan a little bit too early. He ended up terastallizing a Zoroark disguised as an Amoonguss, which actually gave Joey a chance to get up hazards and knock out a Mesprit in the process. But as more and more of Joey's team got chipped down, it made Zoroark even more dangerous for the endgame. Eventually, Uzi did have to break, so he did so using Focus Blast on Zoroark to knock out the Heatran, making it a 4-5 game down the stretch. That being said, the overall bulk from Joey's side kept the LA Wakers at a distance for most of the game, giving him the 3-0 win. In a game that matters for JV, the Atlanta Victinis took on Ellie and the Shanghai Dragon. JV's bulky offense was off to a solid start as Ellie ended up bringing her bottom 6 mons. Alolan Muck was a wall on offense, knocking things off and poisoning things for future chip. Ellie was able to get up hazards with Diancie, but in the meantime, JV got screens up and started claiming mons. Terra Fairy, Hariyama, and Diglett proved to be threatening in the mid game, but Greninja was able to Battle Bomb boost and basically took out the rest of the Pokemon, giving JV the easy 5-0 win. Up next, we have a win-in for Shuckle King as he took on Envy, coach of the San Diego Chimichargers, and both coaches terrored in 2 turns as Jolteon opted for Ice type and Hoopa also had Fairy type. The game was full of scouting to begin with, but after some pivoting, Shuckle King was able to claim first blood with a KO on Ursaluna. After another KO with Jolteon, AV Hoopa started picking up momentum for Envy's side. Woldengo ended up mementoing on the Hoopa and got Azu a chance with a belly drum sweep. Azu was able to take out a couple more mons, and it all came down to a crit gunk shot, which could have sealed the game for the Hisuian Sneasel and for Shuckle King's side, but it ended up missing, giving Envy the very narrow victory. Bravey played Nexus in a must-win for the Vancouver Titans, but it was Nexus going off to the early start as Thundurus put immense pressure against the groundless Titans. U-Turn was able to deal chip on various Pokemon early on, and it made Slowking's regen pivoting even more potent. Greedent was able to get some boosts up in the mid-game, forcing Thundurus out, but Greedent was unable to capitalize as it was paralyzed for some of its turns. Iron Hands was eventually able to take out Salamence to break an endgame for the Vancouver Titans, but with 2 mons standing versus Thundurus and Iron Valiant was able to be the only mon standing as Nexus took the game 1-0. We had a top seed showdown with Mephisto and a meme team taking on Mountay. Iron Bundle did an all-time first, 1v1ing a Slowking Galar with Whirlpool and Rest, and Low Kicks also took out an Alomomola, but Breloom and Kilowattrel were just waiting for their chip to show up. Low Kicks ended up also taking out a Tyranitar, but not before getting up Rocks and Sandstorm, setting up a KO streak for Terra Water Kilowattrel. Kilowattrel was able to break the path for Breloom to sweep, clinching the #1 seed for Mountay and the Immunity Idols. One game that mattered for seeding was Addison versus Q the Costa Rican, and off the bat, Q showed his playoff potential. Addison was aiming to play a slower game, but Hisuian Zoroark and Meloetta got 3 kills to start the game, including a critical hit on Tauros. From there, Galar Zapdos started reclaiming momentum for the London Shockwave, but it was too little too late as Bronzong got Trick Room going and weakened everything down from Meloetta clean. It was a win-in situation for Drewby and El Scizor, coaches of the New York Marauders and Borussia Donphans respectively. It was a game of hyper offense to start as even Akka Corviknight couldn't stop Terrafire Brute Bonnet in the sun. Roaring Moon was the following pivot to also abuse Sun, but it ended up swapping in front of a Slitherwing. Dondozo kept El Scizor in the game, but it allowed Brute Bonnet to claim another KO. Scarf Palmot was another solid bring by El Scizor, keeping a +1 Slitherwing from beating the rest of the team. Roaring Moon was able to put enough pressure on Drewby's team to get the win, but it died to Life Orb damage before it could reach the Walking Wake in the back, giving the New York Marauders a 1-0 win. With that being said, guys, we're going to have more content during this PPL hiatus as playoffs are going to start next week. There are going to be some awards that are going to be given out during this week and some recaps over the season. But with that being said, I'll see you guys for the quarterfinals recap next week. Take care.